Hey Mike, what are we looking at here?
Well, that's a little flyer for our next Bigfoot Discovery Day. The fourth annual is coming up on the 16th of October, and we call in this year's event Santa Cruz Sasquatch, because we're going to, I'm hoping to do a couple of different things at this event that might be a little different than usual. One, we're going to concentrate a little more and give it at least 50% of the emphasis is going to be on the local Sasquatch activity. Here at the Bigfoot Discovery Museum and Discovery Project, we have been working now 6 years full-time on this, and we have amassed a database of sighting reports and so forth. Similar to the other various research groups. You make yourself visible, and then people who've had experiences will come to you with their stories and so forth. So anyway, our 6 years of research has led us to certain conclusions about the phenomena and about particularly the Santa Cruz part of that. And I'm putting together a rather extensive presentation slideshow, which will be, it will have audio, it will have video, and so on and so forth. Backing up our premise that there's a Bigfoot presence here in Santa Cruz right now, and it always has been. So we think we've got a pretty good mass of evidence to prove that, and we're going to present it at this event. So this is like our coming out party to the locals here in Santa Cruz County, because we'd like the local people to understand that we're making some progress on this here. We're not just a roadside attraction. We're actually doing or attempting to do some science here that will enable give us a little more knowledge of what it's all about. Because if there's big hairy people living in the forest, we ought to know about that and have some idea what they're like. Now, some people claim they do, and we're going to talk about that a bit too. We're going to talk about habituation, because apparently that's the current cutting edge of Bigfoot research. The latest books are about habituation scenarios and stories, and some of the people who are considered leading the field in certain respects are suggesting that this is the next stage. And actually, when you get right down to it, of course it is, because we've come a long way from the times back in the 1850s when we'd go collect a gorilla by killing it and then bring it into a lab to prove it's real. We don't do that anymore. We realize the sanctity of life, and we've got a little more political correctness or whatever you want to label it, but it's an awareness now. So I think that it's obvious that if once we've established that Bigfoot is real, and probably the DNA that everybody knows about being tested is going to do that, it's going to at least prove there's something to it, that there's a flesh and blood component. Once the flesh and blood component is proven, then what's the next stage? We're going to go out and lasso one, or are we going to go out and do what Jane Goodall did, or Diane Fossey? I think most people would probably point to that as the proper methodology. And so there you have it. So we're going to talk about that and the future of Bigfoot research. We're going to talk about how we can do that, and do that in a way that's good for both Bigfoot and for ourselves, because we don't want to do harm to them any more than most of the researchers who consider them sentient beings. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about.
When is it?
16th of October.
Where is it?
It will be a two-staged event. Daytime here at the museum, where we'll have a roundtable discussion, and you get to meet people in person and have a little barbecue to help raise money for the museum. And then we'll go into Santa Cruz at the Loudon Nelson Center, a community hall where we will give our presentations. Robert Leiterman will be there talking about the work he's been doing up in the forests of Northern California with cameras provided to him by BFO benefactor Wally Hersom. Bart Coutinho will also give a presentation on his work using thermal imaging, which he has done both with the BFRO and with our museum here in Santa Cruz. So, and also Bobo will be here, the infamous and famous James Bobo Fay, probably one of the best-known Bigfooters in the country, will also be with us to share his knowledge and take part in the events. He's working on a TV show now for A&E. So, Yeah, come on down.
Can you get tickets early?
Yes, if you get tickets early and you're amongst the first 50 people to buy them, you get a T-shirt at cost. Or less, actually. So order those early and take advantage and get a free commemorative T-shirt. And all the information, of course, is available online at our website, BigfootDiscoveryProject.com.